Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the fourth, I think, of the live stream. Is it fourth or three? I've lost count. Anyway, welcome to the live stream from eModels with me, Ted, at emodels.co.uk. Hang on, I've got a banner. There you are, Ted, eModels at emodels.co.uk. And welcome everybody. We've got a good show lined up tonight, I hope. We've got a giveaway. I'll tell you all about that in a moment when one or two people all get in, so I don't have to go through it all again. We've got, I think, a silly question, and it's over to you. Welcome everybody. Right, who we got in? I did notice that Carl was the first to arrive. Well done, Carl. You can stand at the door, take the tickets as everybody comes in, and take the names. Paul, welcome again. How are you? Somebody in Russian, is that Russian? I can't understand that, but hi everybody. Says hi friends, but hi everyone. Stefan, welcome to you as well. TK, hey TK, welcome. You stuck up there in the new secret man cave. Right, who else have we got coming in? Right, Tim's desk, good evening Tim, and Crazy Major, and Models by Will. Oh, hi Will. You escaped from work, or are you sneaking on while the boss is out? But welcome from the other side of the world. Right, I've got a few things to do. Well, I haven't got a few things to do. I've got probably a few things to talk about. I've got a product that came in a delivery from eModels the other day for my U-boat. It's weathering, something to do with weathering, but the U-boat is coming on. Now the paint's arrived. I've been able to get cracked on with that because I've been spending a bit of time sort of setting all this up and getting everything ready, so the U-boat's taking a bit of a back seat. But hopefully the next couple of days after I've finished the live stream tonight, I'll have a couple of hours at the bench and get cracked on with that, and hopefully tomorrow I should be starting filming part 2. So that will take us maybe towards the end of the week, into the weekend, and it'll be ready and up for viewing. Right, let's have a look. I'll go across the workbench and I'll show you where we're up to, and we'll give you a sneak preview on the submarine. Let's go across. Let's have a look. Look at this new mat. It's all nice and clean, not like the old dirty one that we used to have. Got a clean one. Well, the wife bought me it actually. Right, we've got some paint gone on to this is the roof of the torpedo room. It took a long time to decide the colours that I was going to do, but it turns out in the end I've decided to go more or less with the trumpeter recommendation, which was, I'll tell you because I'll get the plan. The trumpeter recommendation was for a light grey colour, and they said a Mr. Hobby 338, which equates, when you use one of these online sort of paint calculators, it came out with MiG 209, which is quite a nice colour. It's not white, it's not grey, but it works out quite well. It's something, I didn't want anything too dark. I know that submarines that I've worked on, they're always a white paint interior, but we've done that and we've put a few parts together. I've sprayed them all up. The torpedo tubes are already just about going now. Just a little bit of touching up and finishing it off. The bunks are in and ready to go. Remember, if you watched the first video, I said I was going to leave all the bunks and that out until I sort of I did some weathering and painting on them. If you can pick that out, gone across the sort of I think these are personal lockers in the back of the bunks, pointy stick. These here, I'm assuming they're personal lockers for the crew, and that's where all the bits and pieces go. So I wanted to put a bit of weathering onto those and sort of change the colour a little bit on the mattresses, so it sort of gives a bit of a different definition. The grey in the bottom, that was just sprayed a gunmetal silver and a bit of a gunk wash, as our friend Fox would say, a gunk wash over that, and that's toned it down quite well. So we're ready for a little bit of weathering on that. So in part 2 of the video, if you look out for it, it should be we should be looking at getting everything together and moving on to the next section. Anyway, it's over to you guys. Don't be shy. If you do have any questions, just post them up and I'll try and either avoid them, change the subject, or answer them, whichever one you want. But we'll start off with a couple of questions that have come in via the emails. That's me on. If you want to get in touch with me, you can send me an email at ted@emodels.co.uk and turn that one off. And emodels.co.uk is if you need to have a look at the website, any products that get mentioned tonight, go along and have a look at them. Right, let's get rid of that. Right, let's have a look at the first question. It's a question that was posted by Kieran McAllister. He's applied, he's taken to painting his Revell. Why did they come back on? Alright, let's get rid of them. Right, he's taken to painting his Revell with enamel paints, and he said that when he came to clear coat over the top of enamel, his clear coat has crazed. And can I recommend a varnish, and will the Humbrol clear coat work? Well, firstly, overcoating an acrylic over enamels, some people say well you can and some people say you can't. You can and you can. Personally, I wouldn't like. I've gone away from enamels a long time ago. I've got a great stack of Humbrol enamel paint pots over there, and they're great. One of my friends, all he does is paint with Humbrol enamels, because the various reasons. Yeah, they dry slower. You've got more time to work with them, but I find them horrible, smelly, take a long time to dry because I'm impatient. I like to get things done, so I'm moving across to acrylics. But everyone their own. And back to the original question: can he put a gloss coat over them? Yes, you can. You can use a polyurethane varnish if you want to go straight over the top, or you can use acrylic sparingly in thin coats, as long as you have let the enamel dry thoroughly. Give it a few days, really let it flash off, and because otherwise the enamels will react. You can do it the other way around. You can put enamels on top of acrylic, no problem at all. But what would I recommend? A lot of people have gone down the clear route. Yeah, that's fine if you can handle the clear, the floor polish type effect, which I think is all that Humbrol clear is. Just that in a small bottle. What I use Alclad 2, the Aqua Gloss. Yeah, sorry, I'm losing track. I'm trying to keep track of your chat as well. I use the Aqua Gloss and it seems to go on, but just be careful with it. I would personally do a few test runs first on some scrap plastic, or even any material, just to practice that your enamel has flashed off, it's gone hard. Then put the clear coat on and have a look at it. But do it in short, sharp. Do it in thin coats and try it from there. Right, let's have a look at some of the chat that's coming. Paul says, oh, there's the Orc Boys, welcome. Paul Miller says, good evening Ted, how's your U-boat coming on, and do E-models stock all the colours for the U-boat? Yes, they do. They do the full range of Mr. Hobby. That's always in there. If it's, as I always say, if it's on the website, it's in stock. If it's not on the website, it's probably due in stock and it will be soon. But an easy way to contact them is go across to the eModels webpage. Down at the bottom there's a contact us form, and rather than phoning the guys up, because you don't always get the phones answered, they're really busy in there, just post them a question, when's such and such coming back in stock, and they'll be able to answer you. Yeah, I did see another message from Kevin Lotzer on about the U-boat again. How long does this think the build will take? I'd be thinking round about 12 months. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I'm hoping that it will be done in time for the Telford exhibition this year, 2017. So if you do happen to go along, you'll be able to see it down there. I'll take it along and let you all have a look at it. So that's about it. I think now that I've got the paints and things and I'm getting everything together, I'm not concentrating on other things. I'll be able to crack on with it, get it done, and sort of march on now. Yeah, Paul, I think I'll still get it done before Fox gets his Falcon built. Anyway, I haven't seen anything of Fox tonight. Yeah, have a go, Paul. Put your order in. As I say, if it's on the website, it's there. I've going back to the mention of the paints and things, I mixed and matched mine. Some of the paints that I could convert from Mr. Hobby. I'm not a big fan of Mr. Hobby personally. I'm forever not pushing MIG. It's just my paint of preference. That's what I do. But yeah, they'll have the full stock for you. Right, what else? Next question. Another question that came in on email was from James Carlton. What's the best paints in the acrylics line? Well, how long is a piece of string? It's all down to personal preference once again. I like the MIG range. I see that James says he doesn't get along with Viero. I've got a big wall full of Viero up here. I've also got a few shelves full of Humbrol acrylics. Each to their own. I've always liked Viero because I could get them from a local model shop, so if I needed to get them quick I could go out and get them. Just pick the odd one or two up now and again. Although say my local model shop, it's about 40 minutes drive away, so I really need to make a special effort to get there. The Viero have an extensive range. It's the colour range is endless. MIG are a bit restricted in the colour range as well, but they have accurate colours, and they also do full colour kits, as do AK Interactive. So you could buy a full colour kit for 1945 here, German late war armour. And really, yeah, it's each to their own. So James, yeah, what's the best acrylic? It's down to what you like and what you can get on with. Yeah, MIG, as we saw in, was it the first episode of MIG, how to apply MIG paints properly, there's a difference in how you apply that as to what you probably found in the Vieros. But yeah, try a few out. Just buy a few tester bottles and try a few out, see what you get on with. His second part of the question, what's the best airbrush pressure? Once again, it comes down to what your paint is, whether you thin it or whether it's straight from the bottle. That's another reason I like MIG, is because I can spray it straight from the bottle. I'm usually spraying around about 20-21 psi, something like that. But then again, once again, it's down to your needle size and the type of airbrush and what you get on with. Right, where do we go now? Paul Stewart, how much building do you generally do on a kit before priming? I prime and build. I build and prime as I go along. I'm thinking, right, we'll get this part done. It's the tray for the underneath the torpedo room that the torpedoes sit on. I'll build it and then I'll prime it and then I'll paint it. Just really, I'll sort of do mini sub assemblies, then I'll prime the lot and then paint them. Things like the roof, it's all been primed, painted. Well, it was all the tiny little parts were all put on and then primed it all together and painted it up after that. A little bit like building a tank. Lots of people will build complete tanks and then start spraying. And that's about it. I'll prime and paint as I think it's necessary as I go along. I like to get paint on everything rather than sort of putting everything together and knowing, although you can't see it, knowing that underneath there isn't any paint. The best paints are the ones, yeah, that's right, Orc Boys. The best paints are the ones you prefer. Yeah, however as you get on with them. I've got Paul's got a selection of Vallejo Model Air to test out because I wanted something I didn't need to thin in the airbrush. I've used Vallejo Air and yeah, it's good. It's all right. It comes out nice and thin, nice and easy. Some people, I think, whatever you do, always somebody will find some fault with it and say theirs is better than another. Anyway, right, back to some questions, and then we'll have a look at. We'll do our little bit of a demo, and we'll have a look. Then have a look at the giveaway. What did I just say? Yeah. Well, last question. If I couldn't build armour, says Gaz. Sorry, Gaz, I haven't got your second name. I've got the email address. Normally you can work out your second name from the email address, but it was just a series of numbers. So Gaz, if I couldn't build armour, what else would I build? I would go back to what I used to build. I would build ships. Not necessarily radio controlled ships that I've done in the past. I would build ships, big ships, 1/35 scale, something with lots of detail in. I do, although it's Revell, I do like the Revell Vosper MTB, the one with the, because you can get crew and everything for that. No, Paul, it wouldn't be Gunpla because I haven't a clue about Gunpla, and I probably would think that some Gunpla builders wouldn't have a clue about modern armour. Yep. So that's what I'd probably build. I'd go back to building ships. There's a bit of character in ships. I particularly like Second World War, Cold War era ships because they still have a look of a battleship about them. Military ships, that is. Often the Second World War ships, open decks, open bridges, things like that. Wooden decks. They really had a bit of character. Wooden decks continued on ships up until the 1960s. I think the tribal class frigates, the Nubian and such, they were the last ships to have wooden decks. Anyway, Paul, yes, you emailed Jennifer about the lighting for your U-boat. Great. I hope she got you fixed up. Yeah, I did. Yeah, he spotted that one. Oh, boys, yeah, you spotted that Gunpla back there. That's the only one I've built because I just wanted to see what all the fuss was about. Anyway, let's go across back to the workbench and see what came in the package this week from eModels. Okay. The bench. Right, what did we get from eModels? Well, I got stacks and stacks of paint for the U-boat. Look, Vallejo, it's there. It's there. Mr. Hobby. Yeah, more Mr. Hobbies, the colours and things. And the thing I did get from them, I asked because I thought I'd shove some of these on the order, was these. These are the MIG oil brushes. I've seen them about. Yes, yeah, it's just, maybe it's just oil paint in a tube, and you can get oil paint in a tube and make your own. But I thought I'd give these a go. It's less fuss, it's less mess. It's ready to go. I've got 3 colours to do a bit of weathering with. Well, not this one, this is light flesh. I thought I'd have a go at an oil for some of the figures that we're going to build. Medium grey, just for a bit of highlighting and things like that. And a rare colour now, a really rare colour. You can't get this anymore in a tube, or very rarely, because Fox has got it all. You can buy Starship Filth in an oil brusher. Now, what are these? Some of you are saying, what are they? Oil paints in a tube. That's all they are. Well, it's ready mixed, and they come with a brush, fine brush. And do they work? Well, we're going to find out, because I haven't really tried them yet. So I thought I would save it until you guys came along, and we'll try some weathering on the U-boat. Paul says he likes them. He says they're great for laying down a mucky base layer on a model. Yeah, they are. What I'm going to try and do, I'm going to try and do some sort of a panel line wash. Well, because what I thought here was, on these strengtheners here, I thought, as this is laying in the bottom of the boat, the torpedo room will be in this sort of area. This would be lying down here with some of the torpedoes on, like that, lying underneath the floor. These would be actually in the bilge. It's a dry bilge, which means that there wouldn't necessarily be water there. There would be some moisture and dampness, but it wouldn't be actually kept wet. Any water that gathers in the bilge would be drained to the centre of the ship and then pumped out. So what I've done, I've already given this a coat of gloss varnish, and I'm just going to try, and we'll find out now. We'll see whether it works. This is a moment for everybody, because I haven't used them. I haven't even had a chance to have a practice before we go. So what we will need, I'm thinking what we will need is some thinners. Just finding a brush. And some thinners. Where's my thinners gone? Getting all the bits and pieces together. Right, better put the lid back on that, because you guarantee it'll knock it over. Okay, let's go. Hi Chris, welcome. Welcome from a US of A. Chris Walters has turned up there, and all we're going to do is just, like we would normally, is just putting the dirt into the corners. Yeah, the brush is quite fine, and it seems to be a solid enough brush that gets in where we want it. It's not a floppy type makeup brush. And all we're going to do here is put this oil in, and then we'll just let it go off and smear it around a little bit. It's as though what's happened is that the bilge has been dirty. It's had water in it, and the residue, as the water's gone, it's left behind a dirty sort of gunk. So we'll just put that bit in there. And also, while we're here as well, I thought we'd have a little look at these here. These I can't think of the name. They're not portholes. I thought what we might do is try and put a little bit of a rust wash on it. So I will show you how to do that. All we need is some X20 thinners. This is just going to bind pigments together. All we're doing is just putting a drop in there, that's all. Just, we don't need any very much at all. I've got some Humbrol thinners here, sorry, not Humbrol, but some Humbrol pigments, because this is just the colour that I want. And what we need here is just put them on and draw it down. Don't need anything yet, we're not going to be too perfect just yet, because what will happen here is, what we're looking at is that the paint on the submarine superstructure or framework here will get chipped around the corners, and it won't be rusty, but it'll create a rust streak, if you understand what I mean. Do you get what I mean? Right, so we'll just put them, and we'll come back to that in 10 minutes, 5 minutes or so, and we'll work on them. It's really a bit difficult doing this live, trying to show you how it works. Just trying to keep it so that, and because we've got the varnish on, obviously you know that we can take things off like that. I'm not quite happy with that. So go back to the oil paints. All we need now is just a touch of thinner, just to wear them out. So just to run the paint out a little bit. I thought this experiment would kind of work a little bit better than this. As I say, it's the first time I've used them, so I think I'd need yet just to work some of this oil off. But that is the Humbrol oil, the Humbrol. I've got Humbrol on my mind. That is the MIG oil brusher. Yeah, I think once I get used to it, it'll be just what I need. All I need to do now is just take a bit of this oil off. I think as, why not, that's better. I need to work that in there. And gunk the rest of it up. I will come back to this and I will show you in the part 2 of the video in a little bit more detail. Yeah, I thought it was an idea to try and show you it live. Well, never mind. Right. I've lost my thinners. There's the thinners. It's just a matter of working it until we get it right. No. Yeah, the oil brush thinner, oil brusher. It's, yeah, I think it's all right. We're getting in there now. See how we're working the oil to sort of sit just in the nooks and crannies where the muck would accumulate, and that rust hasn't worked out as I wanted it, but I shall take it off again and do it again. Right, yeah, as you say, Carl, it is spreading out. It's looking better as it gets spread out now, but it's starting to look as we want in the corners in there. So I'll work on that a little bit more tonight and we'll get it ready, and I'll work on these rust bits here. These need a little bit more of attention. in this scale, unlike the 116 Panzer, I would think that rust wouldn't actually be showing any sort of texture. It'll be more a colour. So we're not going to look like, remember if you saw on the Panzer the exhaust, where it was all had that rusty texture. No, you won't see that in this scale. So it'll be just down to rust colours. Anyway, let's put that to one side and we'll go back to the bench. Go back, here we are. Put these out of the way before I knock them all over. So, I keep saying Humbrol. MIG oil brushes available from emodels. emodels.co.uk. Right. Right. I'll show you now, and I'll let you get ready for the question. Tonight we are giving away this. Ooh. It's the Meng King Tiger with a Heinz turret in 1/35 scale. Amazing. This has an interior, and also it has tracks, but they are available separately. They don't come with it, not in this. And the question for that will be along in a moment if I don't forget. I'll try not to forget. I've got it written down there. Right, have you guys got any questions before I move on to the other ones? We haven't got to the silly questions spot yet. I don't think I'll get into Space Vikings TK, but thank you very much. Right, next question from Louis Thompson. He sounds like he's a beginner. Well, he says he's a beginner. I'm beginning to get into modelling, and he sees that many of us have workshops. And what would I need in a workshop, such as benches, lights, etc.? Well, Louis, if you're getting into modelling, I wouldn't worry about a workshop. I would first of all concentrate on getting used to the build, getting your basics. I don't know what stage you are. You don't say what you build, how long you've been building, or whether you are just a brand new beginner. No, don't concentrate on a workshop at all. Start in the living room. Start on a TV bench or one of these little tables that you put in front of the TV. And some people actually never move on from them, and they're quite happy. They can sit with the wife, sit in front of the TV, and do all the modelling from that. You could then move on to the kitchen table. Humbrol, back to Humbrol. Humbrol do some workstations which are a big sort of, I think the vac form, are they vac form plastic, where they have a cutting mat in the middle of them, cutting mat like this in the middle of them, places to put your pen, your paints, your brushes, things like that. I think they are Humbrol workstation. They're not very expensive. Keep all your parts in one section. And then move on from there, move on to a computer desk in the corner. And then from there, move into the spare bedroom. From there, move into the garage. And from there, it's endless. Don't rush. Don't worry at all about wanting to work in a workshop and have everything together. It'll take a few years. Get yourself organised. Get your basics. Get to enjoy the model. Spend your money on your models and your tools, and build up from there. And eventually, get a workshop. When the wife gets fed up of you leaving glue and paint and everything and smelling the house out with paint and glues, then that's when you get in a workshop. James has got a garden shed. You don't need benches. An old desk. Get them off a charity shop. Get an old desk, something like that. That's all you need. Lighting. I would recommend something, an LED, a white light, so you can see the colours. You get true colours. There's fluorescent tubes in here, but I've supplemented them. I've got sort of LED lights and things all around. Just as you need, as you grow, your needs will grow with you, and you'll get from them. It's an ideal way to set up a Christmas list. When people ask you what do you want for Christmas, yeah, you've already got a list written down of what you need for your model building. Yeah, but do get a cutting mat, because the wife, girlfriend, significant other won't like scalpel marks in the dining table. Yeah, models by I'll be picked. Yeah, models by Will says, I'll be kicked out of your hobby room and have to build a new one in your attic. That happened to a friend of ours. Yep, he's got this wonderful man cave now in the attic with secret compartments and everything. I don't know what we're talking about. Right, question time. Right, let's go across and we will be giving away this for those of you who have just joined us. We're giving away tonight from eModels the Meng AFV Club Meng King Tiger 182 with a high school turret. And the question tonight, ready for this? Drum roll. I was trying to do a drum roll, but I can't do a drum roll. The question is, the Panzer Ace, Michael Whitman. I want to know tonight, when was he born? What was Michael Whitman's date of birth? And I will take the first correct answer will be the winner. So whoever's quickest on Google, or if it's in your mind, if you know, Michael Whitman, the Panzer Ace, when was he born? And hopefully not too distant. George Teasdale, you are... No, sorry, I was wrong. Making model... yeah, hang on. Making models. Carl, you were right. You were the first one. The 22nd of April 1914. You are the winner. 22nd of April 1914. Well done. Just drop me a line, you know, of your details, and I will pass them on to eModels. But well done. Hopefully you will be able to send us a picture when you receive your prize, and we will also get to see the build of it. I hope you enjoy that. Thank you very much. Right, moving on. And as we're in a bit of a light-hearted mood, Paul Parker, I've just realised, what, Paul, hi Paul. Right, and we're in a bit of a light-hearted mood, so it's silly question time, and the question is a bit of a topical one, really, because the last couple of days they played their last concert in Manchester, and the question was, I was going to play some music, and the question was Black Sabbath or Black Lace. Remember Black Sabbath, Paranoid, or Black Lace? I go do. For me, I would be more inclined to go towards Black Sabbath. Certainly not more inclined to go towards Black Lace. I'm not really a Black Sabbath fan. My musical genre is something like Gary Newman, sort of OMD, that sort of thing. I would think Paul Parker, yeah, I'm sure you would go with Black Sabbath, yeah, knowing you. But yeah, I never was one for the Ibiza type sound. So yeah, if I had to be one of the two, if I was offered tickets for Black Sabbath or a Black Lace, if you don't know who Black Lace is, go look them up. So yeah, no, I wouldn't say garage. The only thing I know about garage is where you take the car and they charge you an extortionate amount of money to look at it, tut, and do some magic to it, and then you pay them lots of money and bring your car home. Yeah, James, Charlton. Yeah, okay. What do you guys listen to then? Could be a good chill out in Ibiza with a man cave when you're building. So, what do you guys listen to? What's going on in the background when you're building? I usually have some music on. I tend to listen on iPlayer. I tend to listen to the BBC. Pick of the Pops on a Saturday afternoon. It sort of relives your youth. So, Pink Floyd, The Who and Led Zeppelin, says Carl. Right, yeah, okay. Something good, easy on the ear. No problem with that. Punk indie rock, says Oak Boys. Have a search for Devil Skin, says Will. Kiwi band, pretty good. Are they the one with tattoos on the faces and... Oh no, that's the Hacker, isn't it? Marillion. I thought you said... I read that wrong there, Paul Parker. I thought you said Manilow first, but it's Marillion. Ah, well. Yeah, so it's definitely not Barry Manilow then. Right. Yeah, it's always good if you're building to have just something going on in the background. Even a podcast just like this. Well, not a podcast, but even something just like this. Somebody rabbiting away in the background. If I don't bore you to death and you fall asleep, or you try to cut your wrists with your scalpel. Anyway, right, on to a couple more questions as we're rapidly running out of time. It's surprising how fast an hour goes. This one was from Ken. Also, Ken, I didn't get your second name. Once again, your email address was sort of a number, a first name followed by a few more numbers. He says, "What's the best model magazine?" I used to buy magazines all the time, but then after you've had about 12 months of magazines, they all become very much repetitive, particularly in the model boat world. You could almost, granted I've written for the magazines myself, and the sort of the story became the same. I got this box, so I opened the box, and the box was this. I built a stand, I put this together, I took it to the lake, I sailed it, etc. It's all the same. Scale models, yeah, great. They're brilliant for some ideas. Always an idea to see what's new on the market. By preference, I pick up Military Modelling International. I find that to be about the best one. There's some AFV ones out there. I think they're sponsored by Meng. There's AFV Flight and AFV. There's AFV. There's one for aircraft and there's one for military models. So depending, Meng AFV and Meng Air, that's them, James. Yeah, they're very excellent, nice glossy magazines, and some really good model makers in them magazines. And some ideas you can pick up, you can put them into your own model. You know, say for instance they might be doing a Sherman tank, but they've done it in a particular way that you can pick up the ideas off that and build it on an Abrams, something like that. But so that's what it is. That's what I choose. Now I tend to go in the newsagents and browse, read them all on the shelves and put them back, because you could probably find just as much on the internet. And that's what I do. But yeah, out of preference, one of the military modelling magazines. But if there's anything out there to suit what you want to build, aircraft, anything. Even the Airfix one, yeah, it's quite good. Ted says, Paul Miller, what's your wooden box with the E-model sticker on? Where did you get it from? These? IKEA. I don't know if you can get the big one. Which came first? No, and the little one, I don't know if you can get that still. That one I got a couple of years ago. It may still be available. I don't know what they're called. Is that what they're called, Paul? Like the IKEA moppy box? Is that what they're called? They have some weird and wonderful names down in IKEA, but that's where they come from. There are similar things. I can't think of the company that makes them. They can build a whole desk, and it can go right round your desk and sort of build it as you can afford it. Once again, stocked by eModels. Have a look at storage ideas. But yeah, these are great. If you want to start off, I just have these, and they just really fit in for what I need. Where were we? Yep, Paul Stewart says the big one is still available. Anyway, but that's what they did. Yeah, they start all sorts. But what I've did with this one, if you go in the art stores, you can buy foam board. So what I've done with this one, I've just used some of the foam board just to section it out, which makes everything sort of easy to find. Right, that's that. And unless you guys have got any other questions, I'm rapidly running out. I've got another one, and from Ken as well. He says, what's the best way to strip more paint from an old model? Depends what it is. If it's acrylics, I would suggest an oven cleaner, Mr. Muscle. Spray it on, put it in a plastic bag, leave it overnight, wash it off in the morning. Works. I haven't heard any adverse effects about it, and something like that will also strip off. I believe it'll also strip off when you get these kits that come with chrome parts. It'll also strip the chrome off as well, so you can repaint them in chrome. And if you do that with some of the true metal, can't find it. See, you can't find anything in them drawers. If you do that with some of the AK true metal, and it'll turn that plasticky, rubbishy chrome into a fantastic finish. These, if somebody asked me about these the other day as well, when I put the true metal on, does it come off? It does come off, but I have found that you can protect them with alkali gloss. They will take a varnish over the top, so that'll work for that. Yeah, so Mr. Muscle, yeah, it will strip acrylic paints off. If your model is painted in enamels, it's gonna take a little bit of work to get that off. Down to sanding, seeing how you're really going to struggle to get that off. Hi David, welcome. Jim, somebody was asking, Kevin, I have, if you go along and have a look at Skipper Ted on YouTube, Kevin Lotzer was asking about would I give him a tour of the building area. If you go across to Skipper Ted on YouTube, there's a video on there of my workshop. Just a little bit different to what it is now because I've moved a few things around, but basically it's there. You can have a look. Yeah, that's where the chicken makes its first appearance. Model making chicken makes its first appearance. So welcome David. Better late than never. You haven't missed anything, I promise you. And if you have missed anything, you can catch it up on later, on YouTube later. Right. Yep. I'm just trying to catch up. All right, Paul says these are £18 from IKEA. But have a look at those as well. That I can't think of the name of the things. I can't think of the name of them. They're a whole set. They are wooden like that, but you can build them around your desk, and if it suits you, yeah, suits your needs, that's a great way to go. I've now run out of questions. It's over to you guys. Have I? Oh, I did see somebody asking about. Have we tried the Mr. Hobby airbrush? I'm thinking of the 0.3 Procon trigger. Has anybody tried the Mr. Hobby airbrush? I haven't heard anything bad about them. Usually if something's rubbish, you'll pick it up pretty quick on the interweb. People will slate it. Haven't heard any bad things about them at all. I do know one of the two of the Mr. Hobby products, paints. But I haven't heard any adverse comments about them. Right. Well, we've nearly got up to the hour. So, what we're going to do next time. I'm going to talk about what we're going to do next time. Since the last live stream, I've done one or two little practice sort of things with YouTubes and that, and I'm thinking about asking one or two of the other e-bottle builders, Fox and Tony, if they would want to come along as a guest. We can drag them on sometime. But I'm also keen to hear any questions that you have for the next live stream. I'm keen to hear of any sort of demos that you want me to do. Hopefully it'll be a bit of better demo than the one tonight. I think we needed a little bit more time on this. Yeah, now the paints have dried out a bit. Let's go back. I think what we did before, we rushed it too much. We should have let the oils just go off a little bit more, and now it's settling in there. But there will be more of this in part 2 of the U-boat build, which, as I say, once I leave you tonight, I will get on and start the filming. Chris Walters, what was the name of that dark beer I spilled in your Panzer IV build? Do you know, Paul? I can't remember. Do you know, Chris? I can't remember. I'd have to go back and watch it. But usually I get a darn good British ale, and it's sacrilege when I build them, when I spill them during a build. I should never drink and build at the same time, because I always end up breaking something or spilling something. We must have a chat sometime, Chris, and I'll tell you all about the beers of the UK. Right. So, yeah, see how that. Now, what I'm going to do with this, I'll give it all a wash in this. I'm going to clean these rust marks up here, clean them all off and start them again. Oh yeah, see how the paint there, the oil brushes is sitting in there now. Looks great. Yeah. So there's a multitude of these colours, and I think the name they'll do what it says on the tin, brush oil. Yeah, as people will say, you can make your own. What's wrong with these? Nothing's wrong with these at all. Just these are more convenient. You pay for the convenience and the consistency, because you're going to get the same colour every time you dip your oil back in the oil brush. So that's that. Making models said it's 1 year to the day that he got back into building models. So maybe winning that prize tonight was your present. Let's. Don't forget, when we get it sent out to you, we need can you send us a picture of you with your model? Right, okay, that's about the hour gone in for this evening. I'm glad that you've all come along, and I hope you have enjoyed it. And I'll think of something to do for next time, but I'd like some of you guys to give me your ideas as well, what you want me to do, because I'm sort of sat thinking as I'm at work or doing something else, what am I going to do tonight? And I always like getting the questions. Oh, it'd be better if you could see me. So that's me, that's Ted at press the button, Ted at emodels.co.uk, from emodels.co.uk. Have a look at the website. As I say, if you have any questions about any of the stock, send the guys a mail through the contact form. If you're really desperate and you really want to know something, you could try and give them a ring, or you can give them a ring, but it just might take a little bit of time for them to answer, because they're rushing around forever trying to get your packages out to you. And so on that note, thank you to Linda, who picked my order this week and packed it and sent it through. Thank you very much. Thank you everybody for joining me tonight. And next time we'll do something else. Whatever you want me to do, I will try and do it. Thanks for the questions, everybody that sent them in. Just looking at the tops of some of them. Kieran, James, Louis, some of the others. Congratulations to Carl at Making Models, and we'll get that sorted to you. Just drop us a line with your details, Carl. And thank you very much, and we'll see you all next time. Thanks for dropping by, and have fun. Get back to the workbench. See you all again. Bye now.